Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It is a dreary day here in Northern Illinois. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been watching for a while, thanks for watching. So for today's video, I wanted to give my my philosophy, my thoughts on the coronavirus. Now, let me back up and say I'm not a medical professional. This is not medical advice at all. I'm not saying that people should handle things the way I am. Officially, I would say speak with your physician and get his advice to on the best behavior and protocol that you should operate under to reduce your risk. But I do in-home appliance repair, and I've been surprised people have not been canceling their appointments or anything. But I wanted to just kind of walk you guys through some of the things that I personally do to minimize my potential exposure. First thing I do is I will use my knuckle rather than my fingertip for a lot of things, pressing on a doorbell button and that. Most people don't have round doorknobs in our area. They have flat lever knobs, and so I'll push down on it with my fist. I just try not to touch things. When I get into somebody's home, rather than reach out to shake their hand, I will walk in and lean back a little bit, put up my hand and say, good morning, I'm here to fix your washing machine or whatever, as sort of an indicator that no, I'm not going to shake your hand. I also keep more personal space than normal. It's polite to keep at least a full arm's length between myself and any other individual, especially when it's a lady that's home, just to keep from invading their personal space. But in this time that we're concerned about potential exposure to the coronavirus or even the flu, it's best to keep even a further distance than that. So I keep a little bit more space even than my normal arm's length, probably 5 or 6 feet. Next thing is I have a bottle of hand sanitizer that I bring in with me to every service call. When I get in the home and I get into the laundry room or the kitchen or wherever the appliance is, and I ask the customer what's going on with their appliance, I automatically put on hand sanitizer while they're talking to me. It gives plenty of time for it to work its way into my hands. It also shows the customer that I'm concerned that I may not have it, but maybe it's on my hands and I don't want to pass it. Plus, it helps protect me. I complete the work that I'm doing, and typically they'll pay me by check. So I've already used hand sanitizer at this point, so I can't infect the invoice. So I'll tear off the invoice, lay it on the counter. They'll slide a check over to me. I put it in my clipboard, and then when I get back into my car, before I get into my car actually, I'll set my clipboard down, use the hand sanitizer again, and then get in my car and go about my day. I've not been wearing a mask. Oftentimes, historically, I would take my shoes off when I'm in somebody's home. I'm trying not to do that as much because I don't necessarily want to track anything in on my socks. So I wipe my shoes off tremendously. When I walk into somebody's house, wipe off my shoes, make sure I get them as clean as I can. And then when I get into my home, when I get home, I wipe my shoes off on the doormat. I don't know that there's any way to transfer it that way, but it's just a matter of course that I go ahead and do that. So those are the things that I do. And I also want to give you my philosophy on this. I know that this is a technology channel primarily related to automotive, electric vehicles, but I wanted to give my take on this. First off, I'm typically a more conservative personality, and I think that a lot of people, there's a difference between prudence and panic. So I don't panic, but I'm prudent. A big part of me wants to just roll my eyes at people that are being ridiculous about this, because I think some people can kind of overdo some things. However, that being said, it is wise to be prudent, and Prudence says that I should minimize my exposure to others, and if I do have exposure to others, to minimize the potential impact of that exposure. Also, there are special circumstances. So my son-in-law has cystic fibrosis, and he and my daughter live in a house that they also have 2 boarders. My son, my daughter's brother, obviously, rents one room, and then another friend of theirs rents another room from them. And my son and the other boarder there have just made the decision on their own to move out for a few weeks. And because my son-in-law is at such high risk, being that he has cystic fibrosis, and I commend them for that. I think that that's very kind. It's wise. It shows love to do that, to make that sacrifice. They also just moved into that house 2 weeks ago, and now they have to make the sacrifice of moving somewhere else for a time. Pretty big deal. And luckily my daughter and my son-in-law both work at jobs that they can telecommute. So for the next couple of weeks, they're working from home. What a blessing that is. And so that's great. And, you know, I think that it's wise to make some decisions such as those without absolutely freaking out and, you know, and I'm not going to leave the house and, you know, whatever. Well, first off, we have to live our lives. Secondly, it's the coronavirus is primarily problematic to those with additional health issues, like my son-in-law, or the elderly, or I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm perfectly centered. This car is too sensitive. But or to people, the elderly, the young, people that are already compromised in their immune systems or whatever. That's a different story, and I understand that. But those people also should take caution about when the flu is going around or any other illness. So I think that we need to speak with our healthcare professionals, get their take on it, make some wise decisions, but not panic. Not panic. I think there's too much panic that goes about, or people just completely ignoring everything and going, well, to heck with this, I'm going to prove the world wrong, and I'm just not going to take any precautions at all. Well, that's foolish as well. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it, and I don't know anyone personally that has the coronavirus. Haven't run across anybody, so I can't speak to what the personal experience is, but those are my thoughts on it. And I've had people that ask me, especially since I have a profession that I go into people's homes, what precautions am I taking, and what are my thoughts and my philosophy on it. When I get home after service calls at the end of the day, I sterilize my steering wheel and my screen. I use hand sanitizer in my home so that if I've carried anything with me, that we try and kill it before it gets spread to my home. And so I wanted to answer those questions that you guys have had for me, and to give you my take on this. So for those of you that are praying people, you know, let's go ahead and pray for those around us that are struggling, that are concerned, or maybe like my son-in-law, that have additional health issues. And let's show some understanding and some care in this time, and let's have some respect for our leaders who are doing their best to make decisions to lead the country, and especially in this time. So anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate all of you. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and the notification bell. And looking forward to doing some videos, as service work is a little bit slower right now, just because of the season and also because of the virus. I'll be shooting more videos. So thanks a lot, guys, and as always, stay charged. Bye-bye now.